What's up? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is where you are at home. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we're dealing with exhaust. Real quick, I want to say, if you guys are watching this and enjoying this content, please consider subscribing. You know, subscribing, I hate to ask for it, I hate to beg for it, it's annoying, it sounds lame, but that will help me grow the channel and do more cool things. So please, if you haven't already, subscribe. Okay, so let's jump right into it. We're doing some exhaust today. You can see all kinds of exhaust stuff that I've got here laid out. You guys might remember the HKS exhaust that I bought in order for this trip to be nice and enjoyable and have a great sound. Unfortunately, I already tried putting it on. I forgot that I lengthened my car a little bit, a couple inches, and it's not gonna fit. So it's not gonna work. I'm really bummed about that. It'll go on another project in the future, and so it's gonna be more of a straight pipe exhaust, but whatever, more exhaust or some exhaust is better than an open downpipe, which is how I've been running it before. So we're gonna jump right into it. Basically what I have to do is figure out what configuration of this stuff is going to work with the newly installed turbo. You guys saw, I got the turbo finally on. It was a pain in the butt, but it's done. The lines are all finished. Everything's ready to go. Now I have to get the exhaust to go from here down and then curve under. So I've actually clearanced my oil pan to allow a crossover part. And basically I'm just trying to get the exhaust, which is on the other side from stock on a JZ motor. It's gonna go across and then it's gonna turn back and then follow the factory routing that the exhaust goes on. So that's the plan. Oh, I've got a lot of stuff to do and not a lot of time to do it. Thankfully, my buddy Ben, who's a Lone Star driver as well, is gonna bring his TIG out here and help me put this all together. I don't have a TIG welder myself, unfortunately. I've got one at work, but I can't bring my car to work. And I've got a MIG here, but it doesn't do the intricate kind of details that we got on this. So let me figure out what the heck I need. I think I'm gonna use this piece because I know it kind of fits. And then this is the old downpipe here. This is what I thought was gonna be the new downpipe, but it is not gonna work. The O2 bung is in the wrong spot and it's just not the right configuration. So I might have to use kind of like a piece of this and cut it and then go on to that or something like that. I don't know. It's just kind of one of those things, it's kind of an artwork piece that you gotta kind of like puzzle it together, you know, and figure it out as you go. So first things first, I'm gonna get on what I know fits, and from there, we'll jump on to the fabrication part. So for one of the exhaust hangers, I'm gonna use safety wire. It's gonna be simple to just kind of loop it together and hold it in. First I'm gonna make, because it's exhaust, it's kind of heavy. To make it stronger, I'm gonna double it up. So I got some here in a clamp, and I'm just gonna kind of find the middle. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then you just grab it with a drill. Give it a nice little twist there. And now, twice as strong. So I'll use this to loop around and then I'll terminate it with normal safety wire methods. Get my safety glasses on. We're OSHA approved here at Shredder Racing. Just kidding. OSHA would be so mad at me if they saw what I did. And so would my mom, so don't tell her. So what I'm kind of worried about is right here, I've got my fuel lines run. However, they are heat wrapped, and then I double heat wrapped the exhaust right there. So I'm hoping that was enough. And the safety wire. So you guys know I'm going out of town to go to Arizona for the Future Collector Car Show, as well as a really cool drift event. And so Ben, my buddy Ben Lee from Lone Star Drift, as I mentioned, is coming in to help out. He's bringing his TIG welder. I'm not actually gonna be here, so I'm trying to do as much work as I can to get the car ready, as close as I'm possibly capable, because when I get him, I want him to have a smooth sailing, you know, workspace. I cleaned the shop up. You can see it's all cleaned up. Ready to go for him. It was quite a bit of a mess. And yeah, I'm getting as much of the exhaust done as I can so that when he gets here, it's really easy for him. So I've got the old downpipe here. This is all ugly and gross, but this is a really tight radius pie cut bend. You can maybe see in there, it's pie cut, maybe not. Yeah, there's some pie cuts in there. Anyway, and then it's got a specific flange or V-band on it that I'd like to retain and keep using. So this part I'll probably sell with the old turbo kit so that way someone has a bolt-on application. But this part right here I'm gonna keep, so I'm gonna just cut that off real quick. I've got it taped here to kind of give me a guide to take the handsaw on. Try and get it as straight as I possibly can. That makes it easier to weld. All right, there we go. Not too bad. Pretty straight. This little guy's pretty handy. All right, so it's a used piece of exhaust. We talked about that. It's also not quite round. See, it's a little bit ugly. I'll get in there with a carbide and clean that up a bit. But first, I want to try and make this as round as possible so that it can match up with the other exhaust. So pretty simple, you know, it's just metal. You just got to bend it. I got my vise here, and I'm just going to kind of squeeze down on it. Try and coerce it into getting to be round. So the heat really kind of helps the metal relax a bit and be more malleable, which means that it will take its shape a little easier for me. You know, metal likes to go back to where it was. Even if you squeeze on it, you know, it's always going to return back to its original shape or close to. So without having to kind of chomp it on a bunch of, make it like into a square or a trapezoid, something funky like that, I'm gonna just put a little heat into it, slowly and gently kind of add more and more pressure with the vise, and eventually work it till it's round again. It's kind of a pain in the butt. You might say this is a waste of time and I should just buy a new piece, and you're kind of right, but in order to make this tight radius with the pipe cuts would require a lot more effort and work and money than to just make this round again. So I'm just gonna work with what I got and make it work. So you see me struggling with this damn vise. So that's because a certain someone, you know who you are, borrowed it and completely broke it. It's a piece of junk now. He's gonna replace it for me, but he hasn't yet, so I need it. Get me one, please, thank you. All right, we're pretty close on this guy. Holding it up to a round piece. You can kind of see. Shouldn't be too bad to weld. A little bit of a low spot right there, so I'm going to try and fix that. All right, it's about as close as it needs to be for the proper weld. Just need to clean this up now and then clean up the inside a bit. And I also noticed a couple of cracks in the welds here, so I'm gonna have Ben weld that up for me as well while he's got the TIG here. A couple of cracks there too. Gonna inspect it. You can see where those cracks are. Just kind of cleaned up the area so that it'll be as good a penetration as possible. You can see this is all cleaned up now, more or less, pretty good. It's fairly round. So I just got to get in there and deburr this part right here, and we're good to go. All right, got it all deburred in there. You can see it's much smoother. It's not quite perfect, that's all right. Now I'm gonna just kind of clean up the flange, wire wheel. Now I'm gonna take my V-band clamp, go install it under the car.
Well, I'm Bentley. I have probably the worst hoodie on the face of the earth. So we're gonna help Fielding build a downpipe. Fairly simple seams. We're gonna go from this flange here on the turbine to the existing flange down there. Or not really flange, but I guess the tube that was already kind of cut. Fabrication is usually just like, all right, put as many things together until it kind of fits right. And then it's just a matter of like, how nice do you want it to be in the end, or how well do you want it to fit. A lot of things kind of go into it. But we're not short on time, but don't have all the time in the world, so we got to kind of make something that will work and look decent. But for the most part, it just has to get the job done of making sure the exhaust goes all the way out to the back. Might have to take a little bit off of this tube and then get a flange ready for this side, and then take a flex pipe and stick it in between there to kind of take the stress off of it. So that way the exhaust up here is really only holding up the turbo and then about, say, 2.5 feet of downpipe, and then the rest of it's all suspended by the rubber bushings. Damn pipe cut section. Oh God, what did we do? Whole bunch of hood rat things. Did this downpipe, which a bunch of pipe cuts, gave him O2 bung, and then it goes back into the existing exhaust. Still needs to rotate this thing, but he'll get to that whenever he gets to it. Elbow to the compressor, and start chopping off a little bit to kind of gain clearance. And then we got this Wiggins thingy right here, and then ended up making another pie cut aluminum tube, and it looks like Fielding's just gonna get another piece of 2.5 inch straight tubing to kind of complete that circuit there. And he said, screw it, I ain't running a blow-off valve. And you know what? Okay.
All right, back in the shop, checking out Ben's work. Thank you so much, Ben. I really appreciate that. You guys know I was in Arizona for the Future Collector Car Show. Had a great time, got to drive some drift cars and check out a bunch of cool stuff. And now we're checking out what Ben did while I was gone. His work is very, very nice. Beautifully done, the downpipe and everything is exactly like I wanted. Nice little kink here with some pipe cuts, very Japanese style. We've got the O2 bung here, and then it turns down and mates up with what I had there going on. Overall, fantastic job. Thanks again, Ben, I appreciate it. And you know, we're rocking and rolling. This thing is not gonna build itself, so I'm still doing as much as I can, as quick as I can. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna do another episode, and then we're gonna keep going, and I don't even know what else to say. I'm so tired, I haven't slept in days. We got the tune to touch up. Gotta go see Ethan at Trackstar for that, and then a lot of other little things to button up. So overall, the project's coming right along. Thank you guys for following along. I really appreciate that. Make sure you subscribe. Overall, the project's coming right along, but it ain't gonna build itself, so I got work to do. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you.